Hey everybody, and welcome to day number 23 of the New England farmhouse renovation. So I'm coming to you from the top of the baker's rack we have in place in our foyer, or our stairwell that we've created here. And if you recall, this used to be a very closed off space, and we got a picture that we can kind of show you what it used to look like. Plus there was that ankle breaker staircase that was here that wound all the way down to the bottom. And so we've opened it up and we've married the two roof pitches together, and that occurred between the original farmhouse and the addition that happened a couple years later. And in doing so, we were able to loft everything here and get this nice wide open space, which is pretty unheard of in a house of this age. Everything used to be compartmentalized up there, mostly for heat and cooling effects. They wanted to be able to close off rooms that they weren't using because none of the walls were insulated, and we learned that when we opened them up down there in the living room. So we're here in the foyer, and I'm trying to get all of the drywall and the plaster up, which means I'm kind of working and creating a soffit right now that kind of goes around the entire bit of it, and it's going to encase that heating line, which is for the radiant heating on this floor, and the electrical wires that are there. So it's going to be a little bit of a ledge, and that's just taking a little bit of thought and some drawing that I'm having to get that done. So that's what I'm working on today. Before we do get this baker's rack out of here and build the staircase, we've got to get all of this drywall and plaster and paint up. And the reason we have to do that is because the baker rack kind of rolls around here, and it fits perfectly between this stairwell wall that we created to support the stairs. But it wouldn't be able to do that if the staircase was in. And on top of all that, when you are doing drywall and plastering, it creates a lot of dust. And when you have a new staircase, you don't want to grind that dust into it, because that'll just affect the finish. So we're going to make sure that we get everything all done here and we get our plaster coats up. But that brings me to a point, because I put a really aggressive schedule here to get things done. And when I'm doing one room and we're doing a plaster coat on it, or it's just a small little thing, that's not too much of a burden. And I've managed to get all of the walls up to a level 4, which is just before the plaster coat, and that would be a level 5. And in this case, I'm looking to bring in someone to do that final plaster coat throughout the entire house, because that's quite a bit of labor and wear and tear on the arms and legs. And if somebody who is experienced with it has a team, they're going to come in and they're going to basically bring that all up. So you can never be afraid to ask for help when you are working on projects like this, particularly if you don't have the time or you don't have the tools. And that brings me to another point, because I do a lot of these big projects, and I've gotten some feedback from you all. And one of the questions that I did have was, somebody had asked me, why do I give 2 dates when I'm actually saying how long a project took? And I'll use the Newton mudroom for an example, because I said that took 10 weeks and 44 days. Well, in reality, it didn't take 10 weeks plus 44 days. In reality, what happened was it took 10 weeks from start to finish, from when we started demolition to when we basically did our reveal. And during those 10 weeks, we had 44 days of work. So you're looking at 2 different time frames. You're looking at the amount I worked, which was 44 days, plus the total duration that a homeowner would see. So that's kind of an important distinction to make when you are doing a construction project, to realize that just because you're there doesn't mean that you're working. And so I like to make that separation between things, so that if you're looking to undertake a project like this yourself, you can know that you can expect 10 weeks that you're going to be in construction, and then during that 10 weeks you got about 44 days of work in there. So there can be a lot of things that account for that discrepancy between the time it takes and how many work days. And of course, we had a nor'easter every other week, or practically every week during March, and then that played a role. Plus, you know, we're not working on the weekends, we're spending some time with our family and things of that nature. The other thing that I got for feedback was, it seems that a lot of people out there don't necessarily have big projects, but they've got questions on items that they have around the house that they just need to complete, little small home improvement things. And so I can understand where most people don't have a big project that needs to get completed. Most people just have items on a punch list. And so knowing that, and wanting to really kind of help out and you know, give a little bit back to you all, I've put together a punch list It's a form that you can go to on colorspots.com, and that link is in the description here on YouTube. And if you click on the contacts and you go to the punch list, it'll allow you to put in 10 items. And send those 10 items to me. And at the bottom of those 10 items, give me a budget. Let me know what you have to spend on it, and I'm going to try and pick a project every single month, and then I'm going to try to get that done for the budget that you've given me. And this is my way of giving back, and this is my way of helping folks out there who don't necessarily have the time or the tools to finish these projects, get them done. Now, if I can't necessarily do a lot of projects, and that's true because, in many cases you need a licensed electrician or a licensed plumber, well, then I'll help you find somebody who can do that. So I really hope that you guys will take advantage of that and follow the link, as I said, and send me your punch list. Let's start seeing what you have, and hopefully I'll get to a point where I pick you and you get me, and we get a bunch of stuff knocked off that list. In the meantime, I need you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because a lot of people are viewing it but not subscribing, and it's the subscriptions that really help me do what I do, and I want to keep doing this. So thanks for checking in. Day number 23 in the books. Day number 24, well, day number 24, we're going to see a lot more drywall up here. So we'll see y'all then. Bye.